Hello and welcome to this week's Warriors HQ, your official midweek show. Coming up on this week's show, we speak to Duncan Weir at David Lloyd in Glasgow, and we have exclusive interviews with Alex Dunbar and Gregor Townsend.
So Duncan, we're at David Lloyd's gym today. Explain why you come here.
Yeah, it's obviously a great facility. Boys use the pool a lot. Obviously compression with the water around your legs is really good for recovery, but it's also nice to get away from Scotland at times. Obviously Scotland, where they're training a lot, it's a place of work, so when you come up here it's a wee bit more relaxed, and you can get food up here, you can use other facilities, which is great. The boys sometimes use the other facilities as another form of active recovery, so that's good as well, and you get a wee bit of time away from rugby, and you can just mess about in a tennis court or squash court, and you still get a blow on, and you still get that kind of flush of the legs that make ultimately your recovery successful.
And you picked up a bicep injury in December. How have you coped with being out injured?
Yeah, it was a bit frustrating picking up an injury off a back of a good game for myself. I mean, I've not had many starts this year, so it was frustrating in that sense. I put in a good performance and then picked up an injury at the tail end of the game. So.
And we're currently sitting top of the Pro 12. You must be really excited to get back and be involved in what will be an exciting climax to the season.
Yeah, I mean, if I make that Cardiff game, I've got 4 games before the semi-final and final, so it's a huge goal of mine to kind of work my way back into the squad and really push the team forward and grasp that first title. We came so close last year, and I think we've learned a lot from the agony of losing out in the final, and if we can take a bunch of supporters over to Belfast, just like we did in Dublin, then it would make a great atmosphere in Ravenhill.
This week the club have announced the signing of scrum half Grayson Hart from Edinburgh. He's signing a 2-year deal and joins in the summer. The 26-year-old will move to Glasgow to bolster the scrum half roster and will be at Scotland until at least May 2017. Scotland Sevens head coach Callum McRae has named Fraser Lyall and Lee Jones in his squad for Hong Kong and Tokyo. Warriors centre Lyall will win his first cap for Scotland Sevens in just over a week's time, and it'll be the first time he has represented his country at any level. Ahead of the England game last weekend, Alex Dunbar picked up an ACL injury, and we caught up with him in his house in Glasgow this week.
He spoke about the messages on Twitter that the hashtag differs going around, do it for Alex, and that must be great to have that sort of level of support.
Yeah, no, the support's been great on Twitter. I've seen a few pictures like that kicking about, and just the support from not only Glasgow supporters, but obviously just rugby supporters in general. The players he played against as well have been on giving you support, so it's good that there's players that have been in this position as well and have came back. So it's encouraging, and just speaking to them, what they've done and how they've kind of helped get back sooner. So it's all encouraging to speak to as many people as possible.
You spoke about those players, and people that maybe spring to mind are Peter Horn, Mark Bennett, and Ali Price have all recently sustained that injury, but they're all bouncing back and playing for the Warriors in Scotland. Are you using them as an inspiration?
Yeah, obviously it was good to speak to them and see what they done and things they found difficult along the way. Obviously I've spoke to Sean Lamont, who's done the same injury years and years ago. It was good just to speak to him, get his view on stuff as well. So it is going to be a long process, but there is a lot of players there, and there's a great support at Glasgow as well. So it is going to be a long and sort of mind-numbing process, but it's one that eventually will help me get back.
This week we caught up with head coach Gregor Townsend, who talked about new signings Simone Favreau and Grayson Hart, along with Fraser Lyall's call-up to the Scotland Sevens squad.
So Gregor, this week you've signed Grayson Hart ahead of next season, and he's been a player that you've been tracking for a while, hasn't he?
He is, yeah. I've known Grayson since 2011. I first met him when I was out in Australia watching Chris Cussiter. He was playing club level for the same club as Grayson as he was getting back to fitness before the World Cup. And we've known within Scottish rugby that he was Scottish qualified for a number of years, so I kept an eye on him playing at the Waratahs, and when I got the role as head coach, I had an opportunity to sign Grayson the following season. We came close to signing him, but he decided to stay with the Waratahs, and this is now 3 years on, and it's great that we've got him on board.
What do you think he'll bring to the club?
He's an excellent scrum half, first of all. Really good pass, technically very strong. He's a physical player as well, so he'll look to break. He adds something different. He's got a real joy about playing the game, excellent sense of humour, and he'll be a good complement to the other scrum halves we have.
And he's our second signing for ahead of next season. Simone Favreau was the first. He really impressed against Scotland, especially against Rob Harley. You must be really looking forward to having him for next season.
Yeah, Simone's been an excellent player for Treviso over the last few seasons. Whenever we've played Treviso, we've always had problems at the breakdown, and Simone's been close to it either through his low tackling or his work over ball in the post tackle area. So it was pleasing to see him play so well, because he'd been out injured for the last few weeks. His first game back was against Scotland, and he put some big tackles in. And we believe he's a player that really fits the style of rugby we aspire to play. He will add competition, both open side and blind side flanker.
As well as Grayson coming in, there was also some great player news this week with Fraser Lyle being called up to Scotland Sevens. Fraser joined us earlier this season. He's really impressed, especially in the last block of games. It must be great to see him get sort of international recognition. Yeah,
and look, he must have done really well at Sevens training. We were keen for him to go and have that opportunity to see how he'd get on and potentially be involved in the squads for Hong Kong and Japan. But we all realise it's pretty tough going from a 15s environment into 7s environment. But Cal McRae was impressed with Fraser. He trained really well, and it's a great experience for him. He's been excellent since he joined us in November. Really worked hard to improve his conditioning, to improve his rugby skills, to get an understanding of what it is we do here at a professional level, and he's taken his opportunity during the Six Nations. He's played very well.
And the RBS Six Nations coming to an end this weekend, and every single game we've had at least 10 players involved in the matchday squad, and it's really sort of helped their development. It must be great to see some of your players getting international recognition and doing so well in such a great stage.
Yes, it's a magnificent tournament, the Six Nations. I was down at Twickenham at the weekend, and the atmosphere, the intensity, the interest in the tournament, it's just wonderful to be involved as a player, and we're delighted with so many Glasgow players involved. And I may be biased, but when I've watched Scotland this year, I've felt the Glasgow players have played really well, and we know we're going to get them back in excellent shape. They've played tough rugby, they've played at pace, and we've also got some massive games for them to be involved over the next few weeks.
Don't forget, Warriors HQ, your official midweek show, is available for free every Wednesday evening at 5 PM on Glasgow Warriors TV at youtube.com/Glasgow Warriors.